So good evening, everyone. I'm Lynn Ward. I'm President and CEO of the Waterbury Regional Chamber. And we started a travel program a few years ago, and we have been working very closely with Ian Scott of Quest Voyager. And we are really pleased with the trips that Ian and his team have been able to provide us. And we're really excited about this trip, and we want to share it with all of you. I know that this is a limited trip, and what I mean by that is we have been doing trips where we can get up to 60 or more people to have an opportunity to travel with us. And this one is a little more limited. So I'm going to give Ian an opportunity to walk us through what this trip is all about, and he could talk about registration and the availability. So thank you, Ian, for being with us. And of course, I think all of you have now gotten a little familiar with Terry, mostly through email. Terry McCary is the person behind the scenes here at the Chamber that really helps keep all of our trips organized. And thank you, Terry, for being here.
It's a pleasure. Thanks.
Sure. So Ian, it's up to you now.
Thank you. Thank you, Lynn. Thanks, Terry, for having me here today to talk about our Tyrolean treasures during the Christmas market season. Austria, Germany, in Italy, in one location. That sounds strange, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Yes, it's great to be here. I've had the pleasure and honor of partnering with the Waterbury Chamber, Lynn and Terry, over the last few years, creating what we call our international awareness programs. We've been all over. We seem to go to Italy quite a bit. And for those people, I heard somebody mention a moment ago, they were excited about Sicily and excited about this. So yes, we're going to Sicily in 2025, but also we are going through to the Tyrolean regions too during this Christmas market. The Sicily program went, to coin the English phrase, it sold like hot cakes, and it's already sold out with a wait list. And we expect this one to be the same. We'll talk more about inventory and such in a moment. But for those people who've traveled with us before, those people who've traveled on what we call our cruise philosophy on land, this program is one of those. So it's one location, one pack, one unpack, just like you're heading out on a cruise out of New York or Miami, Fort Lauderdale, something like that. One of those cruises, you unpack your suitcase, take the crease out of your clothes, and you visit a new destination daily. Well, that's what we're going to do here, but duplicated on the land. So we'll fly to Munich. We'll then take a scenic transfer to a lovely place, a lovely town called Innsbruck, home of the Olympics, twice, 1964 and I think 1972, 74, I think, 82, I think. But right there in the Tyrol with the mountains all around, snow-capped mountains all the way around, and it offers all the amenities we need. Unlike the cruise, hopefully our hotel doesn't move in the evening like that cruise ship does, but we do move. So one day we'll be in heading north, another south, east, and west, experiencing Germany, Italy, and Austria, but always coming back to the same hotel each evening. And this way you can really infiltrate into the community, learn a little bit about the locals, and bluntly have a relaxing program without constant packing and unpacking. And I think that's truly refreshing in today's day and age. In a moment, with the aid of slides, we're going to see this program. We'll cross the Dolomites, it's almost a sawtooth or a bear-tooth mountain range into Italy. From Austria, we'll cross the mountains into Germany. We'll land in Munich. And we'll see Salzburg and the sound of music. If anybody knows Do Re Mi, I'll open up the mics at that stage and you can try your song voice. Um, but yes, we're all going to have a wonderful trip into this region, and it is a special region. At the end of the presentation, we'll go through how to reserve. We'll go through things such as visas. We'll go through such things as travel insurance, and then open up to questions. If I may ask a favor, if you could, one, mute yourself now. It looks like everybody has. If you could mute yourself and hold your questions to the end. I'm sure that by the time we arrive at that section, the majority of your questions will already have been answered. But if not, please feel free to fire them at me at that stage. As this is a Zoom meeting, if you wish to, and you're familiar with Zoom, you can put your cursor, mouse, whatever you have to the top of the screen, and a drop down will appear, and you'll see to the middle left an icon that says chat. You can click on that and type away any questions as we go through the presentation. And Terry will make sure that before I leave tonight, that I will answer all those questions held within. Okay, so yes, so let's talk a little bit about December. It's December the 6th through to the 14th. It is the height of the Christmas market time frame. And as a result, yeah, it's a high demand program. All the locations that we are going to will have Christmas markets. Innsbruck's a beautiful one. It will be walkable distance from our hotel. And yeah, you should be at the end of this program, have your Christmas market fill. It is a wonderful, wonderful destination. Lots of mulled wine, lots of bratwursts, lots of different cheeses, different snack items. It's not just shopping for Christmas market items. No, there's far more to this program, but we just happen to be here during the Christmas markets. So let's talk a little bit about what we've got here. So as we move along on this program, so what this program is going to bring forth is yeah, a warm and inviting, friendly people, a beer tradition, but also a wine tradition too. We'll be heading to Munich, and I strongly encourage you, jump in one of those beer halls there, maybe the Hofbräuhaus. You've got spectacular scenery, folklore and traditions, far different than around the Waterbury region. And you've got imperial cities. We're looking at Salzburg, and you've got that warm and inviting, friendly people, part of the European Union. Our first night will be a night to jump on a plane, head out to Munich, and day two we'll find ourselves meeting our tour director and coach driver. Our tour director is going to be your 24-hour concierge. They've forgotten more about this destination than we'll ever know. They'll know the places to shop in Innsbruck. They know the history of Garmisch, Mittenwald, Bolzano, such places as Salzburg and Munich. And again, they're your 24-hour assistants. They're there to make sure you have a wonderful stay and forgotten more than we'll ever know. We've got modern air-conditioned motor coaches for our trip on this particular program, and our drivers are second to none. Now, the transfer from Munich Airport to Salzburg is going to take between 2 hours, 15 minutes and 2.5 hours along modern German autobahns through the Tyrol and smaller roads, and we'll be crossing from Germany into Austria. And welcome to Innsbruck. Innsbruck was once the de facto capital of the Holy Roman Empire. when Emperor Maximilian I made it his official residence on the 15th century, and it began its imperial city legacy. This is your home for the next 7 nights. And tonight, maybe relax, take it easy, and wander down to the Christmas markets that evening, as the first day is a day of relaxation. And through your tour director, you can gain your bearings. And here we are right there at the Christmas markets, right in front of the golden roofed building. Now, day 3, we've got our first full included tour as we have our city tour of Innsbruck. Innsbruck is it's been occupied by various Austro-Hungarians. The Genghis Khan was in here. Of course, the Italians have been here. The Romans have been here. And each has left their mark on the area. You'll find Baroque onion domes. You'll find Roman statues throughout. And here we are in the main pedestrian center of the town itself. Our city tour will be a mixture of coach tour and walking tour as we head through the old UNESCO heritage town itself. This is where the Christmas market section will start. And as we look at the Golden Roof building, the Golden Roof building was built in 1500. It has 26 gilded copper tiles on there, and it was that Emperor Maximilian. Yes, this was his royal box where he would watch performances down in the square below. We'll learn its history. You can go backwards and forwards because, again, this is one of the main streets where the Christmas market will be. Here we've got a day shot of the Christmas market. We'll see the Triumph Arch, which is left over from the Roman Empire. After that, we'll continue on, and we'll be following this family quite a bit. The Habsburgs. We're heading into the Habsburgs dynasty and heading into their imperial palace. This palace was lavishly remodeled by Empress Maria Theresa in the 18th century, and it is a stunning Baroque and Rococo masterpiece. We'll head inside along with your tour director, expert guide, and just drink in the history, the architecture, and the grandeur. We'll be going backwards and forwards across the famous Inn River. Innsbruck means bridge over the Inn. Innsbruck is a highly glaciated river. All the minerals that come down from the glaciers of the mountains bring it into a turquoise blue, or in some cases, an emerald green view as we're looking at here. And we can see the mountains all the way around. The Inn is an important tributary that goes into the Danube and then eventually way down the road to the Black Sea. Whilst we're here on our city tour, we'll see the famous jump, the ski jump. 1976, I apologize, 1976 and I think 64 were the Olympics. This ski jump is 131 feet high, and it's unusual because the slope where the ski jumpers originally start and sit, waiting to go down the slope, points to the mountains at an off angle from the jump itself. So before they start, they get the view of the mountains we're looking at. In addition, something that you might be able to benefit on, it's a cafe at the top. Nothing like coming back and coming in a spot of free time, going to the cafe at the top and seeing the spectacular views. And here we are on the ski jump. Yeah, 64 and 72. And it is an important landmark of Innsbruck. And here we can see it. Now, another important landmark isn't really, the ski jumpers don't like it too much, but if they overcompensate and go too far, they don't worry, because the ancient city cemetery is right at the bottom of the ski jump. So they go straight into the cemetery if they over jump it there and then. Now, here we are with part of our cultural and journey of discovery. We've got a Tyrolean show and dinner this evening. It's designed to bring you into the Tyrol customs, the history, the heritage, to have a bit of fun, to be entertained, and you'll be learning of various aspects like the yodeling was, yes, that obviously was performed before cell phones were invented, but local herdsmen would be able to yodel across mountain sides to the additional farmer on the opposite hill, and they'd be able to communicate again before cell phones were invented by yodeling. There's going to be lots of knee slapping, song and dance. We're going to learn about the Alpine horn, which is a long wooden horn that was originally used by herdsmen to lull the sheep and cows, to calm them down and to assist in digestion and better milk. We'll have also singing saws. They'll be playing saws. Yeah, if you've got a pair of lederhosen, gents, time to put them on. Back to the hotel that evening, rest up, take it easy. And yes, day 5, we've got another included tour. This time we're heading to Germany. We're crossing the border back into Munich, and we're going to be seeing the Olympic Park. Here we've got the famous roof. It's a glass roof. It symbolizes it's really a spider's web, which symbolize transparency and openness, which is in contrast to the Olympics, which was held in 1936 by the Nazi regime. We'll also see, and here you can see more of that roof there. It's the largest tensile structure in the world. We'll see its tower, which stretches 291 meters high, just under 1,000 feet. It's the tallest tower in all Germany. It's taller than the Eiffel Tower. You'll also learn of the BMW factory, which you can see there to the right-hand side. The BMW factory is shaped like pistons that you can see right there. After that, we will then continue on to the Marienplatz. Marienplatz is the city center of Munich, and it is where one of the oldest Christmas markets is there today. The Marienplatz, however, comes back from 1158, and this is where jousting competitions would be held during medieval times. We'll see the city hall. The facade is over 100 meters long. It has over 400 statues of gargoyles and mythical creatures on the front itself. You'll see the glockenspiel. The glockenspiel is, in all sense and purposes, probably the biggest cuckoo clock you've ever seen anywhere. It goes on 2 occasions of the day. We should be there for one of them, but the glockenspiel has 32 life-size figurines and 43 bells. It survived the Second World War because the Allies survived by accident, as the Allies thought that the city hall was actually a church. So they spared it, and we're very grateful for that in today's day and age. Here we are right there again at the Christmas market. You can see the glockenspiel behind. After that, we'll continue on to the English Garden, which is the largest city park in Europe. After that, some free time. Go do some shopping, maybe head out to the, if just off of the Marienplatz is the Hofbrauhaus. Here we've got the Hofbrauhaus is a beer keller, and that beer keller does have extremely strong barmaids and barmen. Here's one of the weaker ones. You've got about 9 liter steins there. The record for carrying is 29 liters in those steins like that. Each one of these is about 3 kilograms in weight without any beer in there. So it gets kind of heavy. You'll get great food, great traditions in those Oktoberfest regions. And yep, relax, take it easy after some great shopping. If you really wish to, you could try and beat the world record. Drinking one of those steins is, now can you believe this, 1.3 seconds to drink a liter of beer. Now that takes some doing. Just try it, and I think you'll realize that is a world-class athlete that drank that beer. Back to the hotel that evening, relax, take it easy, and off we go on our next tour itself. Now, here we've got Neuschwanstein Castle. Neuschwanstein Castle is the home of King Ludwig II, or Mad King Ludwig. It was commissioned in 1869, so in all sense of purposes, it's kind of new in European standards. It's a fantastical retreat. You've seen it on the Disney Channel. It is the Magic Kingdom. Whether you've been to Florida or California, you've seen its replica. King Ludwig adored Richard Wagner, the composer, and built it for concerts and such things as that. And you go inside. Now, again, you may recognize this. This is Disney Castle's Sleeping Beauty Castle too. But there was concerns by the Bavarian state that King Ludwig was going to bankrupt the state with this folly. And you can see why. This is a major structure perched precariously on a rock face. Not easy to get the buildings and materials up there. The lavish interior is spectacular. And one day, all of a sudden, King Ludwig disappeared. It is said that he is actually inside that lake, Lake Chiemsee, in the background of the, as we can see here. But you can see, not an easy feat to be building, and it isn't finished. It was never, ever finished. Now, next day, some free time. We got some free time to wander, take it easy and relax. Yeah, head back to the Christmas market if you wish. As all our programs have some free time involved in them, or go and learn a little bit about coffee culture. Viennese coffee, one of the best places to drink coffee is the old hotel of the Central Hotel and Cafe Central. You can head up to the mountains at the back of the hotel itself, up towards Sandwort, and go and see a little bit of snow, or have an optional tour with only you in mind. Now, importantly, the first program is Mittenwald and Garmisch. Mittenwald and Garmisch is actually, it's an optional tour, but it's also an included tour too. As long as you reserve your spot before April, I think it's April the 14th. We'll clarify that in a moment. This tour is free of charge and it's part of the program. If you don't, and there still is space left, it's additional. But Mittenwald is known as the village of 1,000 violins. It's been a center of craft in the area since the 17th century, and it's also known for its painted houses, whether they're religious themes, whether it is themes of fairy tales, whether it's what the house was used or the building was used for in the past. It's all there on the facades of the house, intricately painted. And if you look closely, you can see that beautiful stonework on the church right there behind. Well, when you get there to Mittenwald, you'll realize, no, it isn't stonework, it is paint. It's all been 3D painted, faux painting. So as you can see to the building right here, you can see pillars in 3D on the building itself. That's all paint. You can see people looking down on the street below. There's the post house. There's the pub or the guest house with all lovely paintings on. There's Hansel and Gretel and Little Red Riding Hood, and the big bad wolf is there too. And it also transposes over into the residential areas too. We've got a wonderful home here, which has saintly figures looking down at the street below. And then to the right of that, you've got one that's a little less intricately painted. You've got real wooden shutters, but you've got a faux painting for the marble work around the windows. It isn't real marble. So there's all sorts of different styles as you go along here. You'll see the Peter and Paul Church. Again, that's the one with the faux painting right there. And then we'll continue on to Garmisch Part Kieran. Now, Garmisch Part Kieran was known as two towns during before the Second World War. Now it's just known as Garmisch. And there's a second town of Part Kieran. In 1935, Adolf Hitler decided prior to the 1936 Olympics to make two towns. So they had two destinations for the Olympics, and it was broken apart. It's known for its beautiful wooden balconies, narrow streets, and again, beautiful painted facades of the house. It's got one of the biggest ski jumps in the region, and on a clear day we'll be able to look up across to Mount Zugspitze, the tallest mountain in Germany, as we have crossed into Germany itself. Day 4, we have an optional tour to Salzburg, and this is the first true optional tour. So if you sign up, there's only 2 optional tours as long as you sign up for the before the early bird discount. And we're looking at the imperial city of Salzburg on the Salza River. The river heads all the way along the Eastern Alps, but Salzburg is known for its spectacular architecture. Birthplace of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. It's known for its vibrant scene, its music scene, and we'll be visiting the home of Mozart, where he was born on January the 27th, 1756, in that building right there. Everywhere you look, the sound of music is there in statues, in audible sections, in chocolate, in souvenirs. Here we are in the main area. The Christmas market will be in this section, as we see right here. And here we are at the Christmas market in Salzburg, right at the foot of the main castle, which soars above the city itself. We'll also learn of Maribel Gardens, and you'll see Maribel Gardens. This was created in 1730, and it is the backdrop of The Sound of Music, where Maria sang Do Re Mi with the Van Trupp children, and supposedly went into the opera house where that couple is walking into on the left. It's not the opera house. The opera house is on the right-hand side at the back of the trees. But you'll be learning of The Sound of Music, the film sets and such things as that. Day 6 is the second optional day tour, and we're going to Milan and Italy, and the Italian Alps across the Dolomites. The Dolomites are a very jagged group of mountains, and we'll be going along elevated roadways, through tunnels. We'll be heading through the Brenner. Well, we go through the Brenner tunnels. The Brenner tunnels are about 42 miles in length through the mountains themselves, coming out on the other side in Italy. And the Dolomites was once a coral reef in prehistoric times, and then 250 million years later, They popped up with the tectonic plates moving, and they are a truly wonderful group of mountains because of their ruggedness. We'll arrive in Murano in Italy, known for its wines, but it's also known as a popular health resort. It came to fame in the 19th century, where the European aristocracy came here seeking rejuvenation. We'll have a tour continuing on through to Rissa Lake and the Anna Chapel, which is right there in the center of the lake, continuing on through the Dolomites, arriving through to Bolzan or Bolzano, whichever pronunciation you wish to use. This is a blend of Italian and Austrian history and culture. It's been occupied by both. It's actually in Italy at this particular moment, and it's known for that medieval and Gothic architecture. But we are still in the steep and strong lands of northern Italian wines. We'll wander through its cobblestones on our walking tour, see its vibrantly painted houses, and then arrive at the South Tyrolean Museum of Archaeology. This is home, I keep saying a few years ago, but it's got to be 15 years ago now, 10 to 15 years ago, when Otzi, the Iceman of the Alps, was found. He's probably going to be the oldest man you've ever met. He's 5,300 years old. Yes, 5,300 years old. He was found frozen solid in a glacier. He's been defrawed. He's been, yes, he's had a thorough autopsy. They can tell you where he came from. You can tell you what he died of, what his last meal was, and even where he came from. He wasn't supposed to be in this region, so he was wandering. Who knows why, but he was way, way away from his homeland. We'll meet him. You'll see him in his refrigerated state, and then head back to Innsbruck. But again, as I mentioned, if you don't want to do both of the tours, relax in one day and take it easy. You might wish to go to Swarovski. Swarovski Crystal is about 20 minutes outside Innsbruck. You could grab an Uber or a taxi and go to Swarovski World. This was opened in 1995 to commemorate 100 years of Swarovski Crystal. For those people who know, Swarovski is, and it always was, a chandelier producer. When the event of the light bulb appeared and we had these cheap shades, then the executive realized that the writing was on the wall, so they started to make the ornaments. You don't have to go to Swarovski to see a vast array of ornaments, even chandeliers. If you wish, you'll find many shops in Innsbruck to do so, but here we are at Swarovski World. Before we know it, we'll be on our last evening, time to do your last minute shopping, maybe for cuckoo clocks, for beer steins, for in the local Christmas markets. And on day 9, we'll find ourselves transferring back to Munich Airport for our flight back to New York after experiencing and enjoying fond memories of Austria, Germany, and Italy, after meeting a very warm and inviting, friendly people with traditions and folklores far different and customs far different than in the Waterbury area. Wonderful food. Yes, you've got the best pork knuckle anywhere around. You've got potatoes, salads. You've got strudels. Whenever I start talking about food, I can keep going on forever, and beautiful alpine scenery throughout the way. Now, what do you get for this particular program? We do get round trip air from New York, 7 nights in a first-class hotel downtown Innsbruck. We've got 11 meals, which equates to full breakfast on a daily basis and 4 dinners. One of those is the Tyrolean dinner and show. We have a tour of Munich. We've got a tour of the the Tyrolean evening. We've got Neuschwanstein Castle. We've got a tour of Innsbruck. And we've also, as long as you reserve before the early bird deadline disappears, you've got the Mittenwald and Garmisch tour. I do apologize. For some reason, there must be an unlock on this. I think you can see some red stripes on there. I don't have it on my... Do we have red stripes on the screen? Yeah, I think there must be an unlock. I think somebody might have put red stripes on there while we were doing the presentations inadvertently. I apologize for that. So we've got our Quest Voyager program director on the program too. We've got first class motor coaches from Munich back to Munich, and we've got baggage handling and transfers, one piece of luggage in and out of the hotels. All this for $1 short of $4,000. That's double occupancy. That includes the free Garmisch and Mittenwald tour. Now, single occupancy is an additional $7.99. It is very limited availability on that. Now, fuel surcharges and taxes are included in that program. As I mentioned, it is April the 13th. By end of day, that is the price. After that, the pricing goes up by $100 plus the price of Mittenwald, which is $159. So if you reserve your spot by, by the end of the day on April the 13th, you save a considerable amount, $259 per person. Okay, now, but importantly, if you've been to one of our presentations before, you will know that the Waterbury Chambers trips are in high demand and they go kind of quickly. So I do recommend that if you know you want to go on this program, sign up sooner than later to avoid disappointment when this trip goes. Now, we're about 50% full with our allotment. We already have Waterbury Chamber travelers reserved. But I think I can't categorically say, but when we were Lynn was with Quest Voyage and us this past year in France, there was lots of Christmas markets around, and I think, Lynn, you had a wonderful time in those Christmas markets. Hence, we brought in this Christmas market. Right now, we have enough slots for 22 people. Now, importantly, we'll talk more about this at the moment. If you know you want to go, make sure you're one of those 22 people, because again, don't be disappointed and wait when it sells out. We will have a wait list. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But if you want to categorically say you want to be on the trip, sign up ASAP, please. Now, citizens of the US passport holders, you will need a passport with 6 months left on it from the last day of the trip itself. So you'll need 6 months left on it from December the 14th. Okay. If not, if you don't have it, go and grab a new one right now, especially if you're on the Sicily program too. You'll also need 2 blank pages for this particular program. Now, this is the same for Sicily as it is for Austria too. A visa could be required for Europe, and we have to say, it's strange to say it could be. Well, it should have been required in 2023. It wasn't enacted. It should have been required in 2024. The European Union chose not to do it. It's supposed to be enacted in June of 2025. Let's see if the European Union does. If it does, it's not a huge problem. It isn't something that is a lot of paperwork, and we will provide you with the link to reserve and gain that. I'm calling it a travel visa, but it's actually a travel pass. It's a travel card, is what the European Union states. Now, if you're going to Sicily, then you won't have to do it again because you'll have it done for Sicily if it's required. So you won't have to do it again. I believe it's good for 5 years. It's not a lot of money. It's €7 from what we are told. And it would be logging onto a website. It would be name, address, date of birth, passport number, and a little bit more information than that, but not much more. And as long as you're not hiding out in the Waterbury area from Interpol, you should have that authorization back within 4 days maximum to 14 days maximum. But again, it's a very quick thing that should be coming. Don't worry about it now. We will be informing you of that if it happens, and when it happens, if it happens. So again, don't worry too much about that. Now, how do we sign up for the trip? It's really easy. If you're here, you've all seen the HTML, the PDF that Terry will have sent out to you. You've got the program, the dates, lovely description of the trip itself right there. We've got Terry's contact details. Terry is your source of information. Terry is wonderful at this, and if she doesn't have the information or the answer to the question that you need, she has my number and she'll get it, and together we'll answer that together. But she is your contact on this program. But if you click on the click more information, it will then launch our booking page. It's a HTML file. I'm only showing you a couple of little pieces of it right here. We've got description, very similar to what it was on the brochure, Terry's contact details. And if you click on book now, it launches this section right here. Now, it always launches, this is the how many page. It always launches to 0, 0. So from this particular section, from the pull downs here, you will then indicate how many. In this case, I've indicated 2 people. 2 people is, in the instance that this is 2 people in the same room, and there will only be one form of payment. So somebody is paying for 2 people. It could be husband and wife. It could be all aspects. There's 2 people in the room, and one person's paying for it. As you go through, as soon as you make these changes, the right-hand side is dynamic. It is a $800 deposit per person plus any options. And we'll talk more about this in a moment, but you would basically press continue. But just for the sake of it, I'm going to show this next section. So instead of 2 people in here, there's 1 person in a double room. So this is in the case of 2 people are going on the trip and you each want to make your own form of payment. So hypothetically, I'm going with my best mate. We're going to share the room together. I'm going to pay for my way. He'll pay for his way. 1 person in double occupancy, and there's 1 form of payment for this particular section. We'll go on to continue, and now we've got the passenger information section. Okay, so it'll ask for the buyer's information. So if you have already reserved on Sicily, you've already got an account with us, you'll log on to your account and it will populate most of the information that you need. But if you haven't, you start with the buyer's information. There is a orangey red star, as you can see here. These are all required fields. As we go to the second section, we go through, we've gone through name, address, telephone number. We've gone into, now we're into name as it appears in your passport, last name, first name. Middle name is not a required field, just in case you don't have a middle name indicated on a passport. We've got gender, male or female, tick that. Passport number is not required because if you don't have 6 months left on your passport from the last day of the trip, you're going to have to go out and grab a new one. or if you don't have 2 blank pages from the last day left in your passport, you're going to have to go and grab a new one. When your new one comes, then you can put your passport number in. You can go back into your account and put your passport number in. Now, your passport name should not be different unless you are purposely changing it, i.e. you're getting married or you're legally changing your name. So even if your old passport is going to be expiring, unless you are changing your name on your passport, it's the same. So put your name as it appears in your expiring passport, last name, first name, and middle initial if there is, and then go and get your passport. If your passport's good, fill out everything here, including your passport number, the issue date, expiration date. You can click on this box, upload, and you can load a picture of your passport off of your computer. Then you'll go into the room type, single, double one bed, double twin beds. That's what I would put in there because me and my mate are going to be sharing the room. Triple is a request, roommate's name. So then I would put my roommate's name in here so we know who we're sharing, who the room is being shared with me. We then get into the air gateway. The air on this program is out of New York. If you're going out of New York, that's it. Don't worry about it. Tick that first box and you're taken care of. If you've got friends or family members outside the Waterbury region, you might have an aunt in LA who wants to go, they would click that box. The second box, no, get me out of another airport. And in the notes section underneath, they would put what airport they want to get out of. Lastly, we've got the last box is no, I don't want Quest Voyager to plan any air for me. And for that, you will gain an 800 per person reduction off a final payment, not off the deposit amount today, off the final payment. Notes, anything you need us to know about you as a traveler, right there. Again, it could be a different gateway. It could be I'm traveling with friends. I'd like to have rooms close to each other. If you've got global entry, put that in there in the next box. Any dietary needs, low sodium, fat free. We're traveling in Europe. We shouldn't have any issues at all with any dietary needs as long as we know in advance. Then we've got a way to pay for final payment. You can do it manually by clicking no, I prefer manual payment, or you can do auto billing. By clicking auto billing, you will gain a notification 14 days, 7 days, and then 3 days before saying your card or your bank is going to be charged automatically on the date, and please make sure you have funds available on the card. You don't have to do it that way. You can click just a manual payment. You'll still gain the notifications. You just won't get the 3-day one. You'll get 14 and 7, and you'll get a diplomatically reminder if you forgot after the payment date. We then have the terms and conditions. You can click on the blue section to learn about it. Click yes, it's a required field, and then click continue, and off you go to the payment section. There are 2 ways to pay. US checking account, which we're looking now at the booking section on here. So US checking, the name of the account. So it could be something like the Ian Scott trust account. Put in the routing number, the account number, and confirm the account number, and you'll press confirm booking. Okay? And then you are taken care of. The second way to do it is by a credit card, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover. There it is right there, really easy. And you'll put in the credit card number, expiration date, the CVC number, and the billing address. Press confirm booking. And then you will gain an automatic pop-up that says thank you for reserving. You'll gain Terry's contact details, and you'll get whatever you reserved will be listed out there. If you have strong pop-up blockers or spam, you will gain an email simultaneously. You'll get both of them. an email will come out to you too. If that email doesn't appear in your inbox within 20 seconds, it's in your spam. So check your spam, please. It says exactly the same information in that email. Now, once you gain your credit card statement or your bank statement, you won't find anywhere on it Quest Voyager. Our merchant account is We Travel, which is the yellow arrow at the bottom right there. Look for that. Nearly finished, and we'll open up to questions. If you've heard me talk up on our programs before, I always say, I hope you all take out travel insurance. I hope you waste your money on it. And I truly mean that. I'll be in Croatia on the 18th of next month. I take travel insurance out. Last 20 years, I've taken 86 trips. I've used travel insurance 3 times. So in all aspects, I've wasted my money 83 times, but I will never, ever change it. You have house insurance, car insurance, medical insurance at home. I strongly encourage you every time you go out of the country to take travel insurance. There is a link in the email or the pop-up when you've booked your trip. It's a blue link. It says, find out about travel insurance. If you click on that link, this web page appears here. You'll put your state of residence. You'll put the destination you're going to, which is Austria. There's only room for one. Austria would suffice. You'll put the departure date, return date, initial deposit date, final payment date, which will all be listed in that pop-up or email, and you'll put your date of birth and the cost of the trip. There are 2 types of insurance. There's cancel for a reason, which is standard travel insurance, which is what I always take. It covers cancellation before you go if you fall ill, heaven forbid, if you die, or if one of your immediate family members falls ill or dies. Hope that never happens. Again, I hope you waste your money on this, but it's important. It also covers trip interruptions, missed air and cruise connections, baggage and personal effects, delays of luggage, emergency medical and dental, accidental death and dismemberment, pre-existing conditions, as long as you sign up at the time of initial reservation, and cancel for any reason. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but 24-hour, 7 days a week assistance from overseas. If you have any questions at all on the insurance, you should talk to the insurance professionals. That's at the 855-874-0156 number, and just mention code 580 or Quest Voyager, and they'll be able to answer. They forgot, like our tour directors, they've forgotten more about this insurance than we will ever know. Now, you can also have cancel for any reason. The cancel for any reason sticks to the standard insurance and means that you can cancel for whatever reason you wish to. We recommend, no matter which insurance you take, you get that insurance after you've made your, straight after you've made your deposit. But as long as you reserve no later than 48 hours before departure time, you can cancel for whatever reason you wish if you pay for the enhancement of cancel for any reason. Now, if you cancel for any reason, you can make up a whatever story. The dog didn't want me to go. I got a bad haircut. You can have fun with it. There's so many, because it's whatever reason you want. It's your reason. But because it's your reason, you get 75% of the cancellation penalty back from the insurance company. If it happens to be a cancel for a reason, should it be in a medical, a doctor states you can't go, for example, it should cover 100%. I have to say should, because I'm not the insurance assessor approving or denying claims, but it should do based on history. So that's, we certainly hope you'll join the chamber on another trip, great trip in 2025. And anybody got any questions, please?
I do have one question. Would a person who has a vegetarian diet struggle on the trip?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. You're going to Europe. So if you don't struggle in the United States, I would struggle on a vegetarian diet anywhere. But if you are a vegetarian, then you won't struggle on the trip. Again, as long as we know in advance, and you put it in your reservation,
Mhm.
that we won't have any issues at all. We've been operating this program. We're going to Austria. One thing yes, that's fine. That's you shouldn't have an issue with it.
Thank you.
Before I get another question, I realized, so when we looked at the booking page, if the trip sells out, please don't go away without registering on the wait list. So once the trip is sold out, there will be a box there that says get on the wait list. Please get on the wait list. As soon as we get somebody on a wait list, we'll reach out to you, we'll reach out to Terry, and we'll try our best to gain more space. So please don't disappear and just say, oh, it's sold out. No, get yourself on the wait list. It's first come, first serve on the wait list, and we work on the order that you signed up. Next question, please.
I have just a couple. Does the website allow you to go on and make like payments like weekly if you wanted to, or do you just do the initial and the final?
No, you can go on there. As long as you make an account, you can make whatever payment you want to whenever you wish. So, hopefully it happens. You win the lottery next week and you've got a little bit more money than you expected. You can put more money on your account.
Okay. And deposit is non-refundable, I'm assuming, correct?
No, that is not correct.
Okay.
So part of the reason we want you to get your name, we've been doing this a long time. We value Lynn, we value Terry, and we value you as travelers with the Waterbury Chamber. We want to give you the ability to put an X on the calendar and get yourself on the trip before it sells out. So what happens is from the day that you reserve all the way up to 131 days before, it is a full money back guarantee of all money paid to Quest Voyager. So your deposit, $800 per person, your optional day tours, all those come back to you, and you would just send Terry an email. And again, no questions asked. We would initiate the refund virtually straight away, and you'll be done in such a way.
Okay. Just a couple more questions. So if we were to look into the option of arranging our own flight, is there any way to know what the flight that you're booking costs so that we know if we are saving or not, or how would that work?
You're going to get an $800 reduction based on the trip. So if you've got oodles of air miles, it might be worth it.
Okay.
If you've got a credit with the airlines, you have to apply those credits directly with an airline. They don't allow us to say, you got a United credit, we can't take that credit. You can only go directly with the airlines. So those are things that you would look at. You could sign up now, and then next week you could let us know that you want to go land only, if you wish to. If you go land only, I recommend that you come in the night before. It is a 2-hour 15 to 2.5-hour transfer from Munich to Innsbruck, and we can't wait for land only people. So if you're coming on your own flight and your flight happens to be delayed, we can't wait for you. But if you're at the carousel, waiting for the flight to arrive from the rest of the group, then you can jump on our bus. As long as we know in advance, you'll be able to jump on our bus.
Okay. And then travel to and from the airport, is that organized through the chamber, through you guys, through ourselves? I think Terry had mentioned there is possibly a option.
Do you want me to jump in on this, Lynn?
Sure. Go ahead.
So yes, we help arrange and this part is optional. We do help arrange a bus from Waterbury to the New York airports.
Okay.
We would let you know what that cost would be per person. It does depend on how many people want to use it. It does start the party a little earlier. We have a very good time on the bus. So I always recommend that because then you've got, one more set of hands. But as Ian mentioned, if you are on your own flights, that can get a little complex. So
Understood. And then my last question, probably a silly question considering you wouldn't be doing this trip if it wasn't safe, but in general speaking terms, like these three countries are safe to travel to and tourists are safe there and all of that fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult question to answer. What I cannot guarantee one's safety in downtown Waterbury, in New York, in LA, San Francisco, or Innsbruck. But having said that, Innsbruck is a safe, and Austria, Germany, Italy. These are safe destinations. Yes, I might upset somebody, but you're probably a lot safer in Munich than you are in New York City. No, I again, we can't guarantee anybody's safety anywhere, but we've been operating this program. I've been operating European programs full stop for the last 30 years. I don't know of any instance other than maybe once a blue moon, there's a pickpocket arrives. If you plan accordingly, you're not going to be affected. Gents, don't have your wallet sticking out of your back pocket. Ladies, don't have your pocketbook open, your purse open. Don't take the diamond tiara with you. It just attracts attention. But other than that, no, I'm not concerned in any shape or form anywhere on this program.
Got it. And then one last question I just thought of. The countries we're going to, do they all use euros and we would have to like change money before we go, or how does that work?
Yeah. So again, I'm going to answer that, but I'm going to bring in another point before we answer that. So before we go on any of the Waterbury trips, we're going to have another one of these events where we're going to discuss about preparing you for your adventure in front. So if you're on the Sicily trip, you know that, because I know most of those people have traveled before with us. But on this trip, round about give or take, round about 30 days before we go, we're going to have a pre-departure meeting. You'll have gained your tickets, you'll have gained a full information packet about all these regions, and we'll go through this, what you're talking about right there, again. But yes, you're correct. We are traveling on the euro. The euro can be gained everywhere. If you feel like you would arrive in Munich without euros, if you feel like you would be arriving naked, grab some from the bank before you leave. You can get it. It's an easy currency to get. But once you're in once you're in Innsbruck, there's a myriad of ATMs everywhere right now. Europe is slowly becoming a cashless society. So eventually Europe's going to have no ATMs. The United Kingdom is virtually zero ATMs now. But Europe's not. It's a lot slower. So, for the next year, 2 years, I think we'll still be fine with ATMs. That's the best place to get your money.
Thank you.
I apologize for going over, but go ahead, Mary.
That's okay. It's kind of quick and you probably would cover it again. Obviously it's middle of winter like it is here. How much more frigid or cold is it where we're going than what we're experiencing? Not you in California, but us in New England.
Oh, it's freezing in California right now.
In the river. Okay.
What's the weather gonna be?
But again, a little bit like safety. It's really hard to say what the weather would be like. But if we were talking of historical data, we're not going to be swimming in the Inn River for sure. It will be snow on the mountains around. Will it be snow on the ground? We can't guarantee. There's a possibility, but probably not. But in the evenings, yes, it's going to drop down into the 30s, high 30s. In the day, it's going to be in the mid 40s to mid 50s if we're lucky. Sooner than to dwell too much on what the the temperatures are. It's a layered destination.
No,
A
yeah.
pair of shoes, a layered destination. And I bring this as a perfect example. We had a few groups arrive in Scotland just this past weekend, and they arrived to 62 degrees. Nobody in Scotland, they don't have 62 degrees in the summer, never mind in March. So it's really, the world is a strange place. It's getting stranger with weather, and layered clothing, a good pair of shoes. If you've got your favorite hat, a favorite pair of gloves, a favorite scarf, take them with you, even though you'll find lots of new favorite ones in the Christmas markets.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if you would say to me, oh, no, it's, because of the mountains in the air, it's going to be substantially cooler. Okay, that's what I
Oh,
need.
no, it's, I mean, if you go up to the mountains, yes, yes. But down below, no, I don't think so. Historically, where you are, if I'm not mistaken, you're actually further north than where we are in Austria. So it could be a little cooler at home.
Okay, thank you.
Two last very specific questions. What airline are you flying over on, and what hotel are you booking there?
Yeah. So the airlines we tend to, this particular program most probably is going to be a Star Alliance program, which is a Lufthansa, a United, a Swiss, an Austrian, something such as that. We don't give the program, the airlines out right now, because the airlines are constantly changing schedules. They're constantly changing aircraft and canceling flights. And our job in that case would be informing you of flight changes, and we'd never get any work done. So that's what it most probably will be. We will be giving you the flights at about 45 days before we go, when nobody can change them. Other than a couple of minutes here or a couple of minutes there. But I think it would be one of those. It will be, it's always a regular schedule, but it should be one of those carriers in that Star Alliance format. The hotels we use a few different hotels on this program, and we're constantly trying our best to find the hotels and renegotiating the hotels. And we use quite a few in Innsbruck, but it could well be the AC Marriott or the Hotel Motel One, which is a new property.
Thank you.
And I just want to jump in on the Hotel Motel One. It sounds like what we think of as a motel here in the States, but in Europe, that's not what it means. The Motel One name it's not a motel.
Just a cooler way.
I just wanted to make sure, because the first time I heard that when I stayed in one, I was like, I don't want to be in a motel. It's not what it means here. So I just wanted to say that.
It's a new property, and it's you'll enjoy it. Any other questions? No? At that, thanks for attending. Thanks for listening. If you know you want to go, jump on board, get yourself on the trip, and we thank you in advance for traveling with us. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Lynn, if you're still here. I don't see Lynn.
I'm here.
Oh, you're there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the only thing I do want to mention is that to our group that will ultimately be the group to go, we will be joining another chamber once we get to to the airport, whether I think it's when we land in Munich on the other side, we will be combined with one other chamber. And
Yeah.
Ian, can you tell me again what chamber that is?
Yes, the Carroll County from Westminster, Maryland.
Okay.
They're a fun group of people, like the Waterbury Chamber, have been traveling with us for years, and you'll have a ball with them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. You can follow up with Terry or myself, and we hope that you will sign up. I think we have maybe 10 or 12 spots left, so not too many. It can go quick if there's 6 couples that want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Lynn.
Thanks.
Thanks, Terry.